Well, good morning, everyone. It's nice to have you here on this beautiful Friday morning. Our monthly chat with the mayor brought to you by Gina Mills Country Financial, located right here in downtown Sullivan. I'm John Montgomery. So glad to have you with us here this morning. And so just a gorgeous morning. And the star of the show is floating in here.
It's a circus. It's an internet circus.
More than people realize, probably, huh?
Oh my gosh! I
Nice
tell
to see you. Happy New Year, Mayor.
Montgomery.
It's good to see you. my
Happy New
friend.
Year to you, sir.
Yes. This
Happy
is
New Year to you, John Montgomery. Happy New Year to the folks of the City of Sullivan, Sullivan County, the Wabash Valley, the state of Indiana, our beautiful United States of America, and those of you listening internationally.
Hello, Pakistan. Okay.
How are you this morning? Welcome to the January 2023 edition of First Friday Chat with the Mayor. I'm not sure we're going to need this, John, because we're having some internet technical difficulties today. So
How can this be?
we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Well,
And we have a backup internet. So
okay.
the backup
good?
isn't backing up.
Oh, okay. I understand.
But whatever the case may be. So for you folks joining on YouTube, you're going to see the recorded version of this show today, right? So you'll be able to see it on the City of Sullivan YouTube channel. So there's a little plug. If you go to YouTube, you can subscribe and like and whatever and follow and all those different things to the City of Sullivan is the name of the YouTube channel. Be able to check that out. There is some videos. Actually, the December edition of First Friday Chat with the Mayor is up on YouTube right now, so you'll be able to check that out.
Good to know.
With a few other video clips, and then there will be more coming in the months ahead. So that's the City of Sullivan on YouTube. You can check out their YouTube channel, so you can just chill out at nighttime, pull the YouTube up on your TV, popcorn, and see all the great happenings.
What a way to spend an evening.
What a way to spend the evening, especially a weekend, a romantic Friday night.
And after today, you can do it back to back. I mean, you can binge if you want to, just a little bit.
Little binge watching. By golly, I have missed the last 6 months of this show. We're going to start, and we're going to do it from now on. But we're also streaming live on Facebook right now, John. However, it is through the Verizon Wireless, and sometimes the current City Hall, and we're not going there either.
Okay.
The current City Hall we're at. So, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? Two internets. The backup doesn't work, so we go, well, we'll just use the wireless signal, right, on Verizon. Well, in this building, for whatever reason, it's very difficult sometimes to get a reception. Now, if I step out on the sidewalk, I can. You name it, it happens. Remember the coffee mug from several years ago? I'm a mayor. I solve problems you don't know you have in ways you will never understand. You're welcome. My favorite coffee cup. Matter of fact, do we have any coffee going on this morning? All right, it's brewing.
All right.
Because I usually pop in and make the coffee first, but I was too scattered, and I had to take Hadley Rose to school this morning.
That's important.
Drop her off, so yes.
Important.
But here we are.
Well, I hope it was a good holiday for the fam.
It was.
Did you have your family together? I know you got one.
You want to keep bringing up stuff that makes me upset?
Oh, it does?
Thank you. No.
It does?
No, we did. We had an excellent Christmas, but unfortunately, for the first time in my son's life, he wasn't able to come home, so I didn't get to spend Christmas with him.
Know that.
Well, we FaceTimed. If you checked out my Facebook page, we took a picture. Every year, I take a picture with the kids, right? And I sit at the end of the couch, and they all sit in the same order, and it's the same picture we do every year.
Okay.
Started like back in 2015 or 16, and you can see the kids getting older. So this year, everybody sat in order, and I held my laptop up next to me, and Dawson's face was zoomed in from Florida. So we did with technology today. The technology at my house works.
Okay.
Just not in city government.
We should go
We could do a show on that, right? The efficiency of home compared to government. So Dawson, he was able to zoom in for Christmas this year. But yeah, we had the rest of the kids there and my family, and it's always good. Does it really matter where you're at, right? You know what I mean? As long as we can eventually spend some time together, get together.
Absolutely.
The gifts were exchanged, or for Dawson, the money was deposited. The gifts weren't exchanged. The money was deposited in his account. So so we were good, ready to go. It was a great Christmas. How about you?
It was good. Before Christmas, we had that cold weather come in. Oh, it's a bitter cold. Our heat went out, so it was nice. And we got a little closer than we have been in the recent years.
You did that on purpose.
But we went like 8 hours without heat that day. That was not very fun. But it got fixed, and we were good. And outside of that, it was great. We had a great time at the tournament up in Terre Haute and all that, so it was good. Good holiday.
Did you sing "Baby It's Cold Outside"?
Yeah, well, we won't go into that either. We all have secrets.
It was a very Merry Christmas, Teresa, wasn't it? I just get to hug you just once a month.
You know how lucky
We're not cuddling.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Anyhow,
It's good to be back here, though.
it's good to be something. This is we're thinking about starting a show this year. Instead of just us ranting and raving, we're actually considering. We've got some of the equipment. We look like we're running a show. We're thinking about actually starting. You want to start a first Friday chat with the mayor?
I like to do that.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it'd be great for the public.
I think it would be.
Yeah.
But speaking of Christmas, John, sounds like you had a cozy Christmas.
It was, yes.
We had a good Christmas at our house. But you know what? The downtown Christmas, I want to talk about that a little bit this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Another phenomenal year. Record is the best ever. It's just getting bigger. It's huge. Getting better every year. Downtown Christmas. Kudos to the Heart of Sullivan and all of the volunteers that made that possible. Once again, we saw horse carriages. We saw kids skating. The Grinch was on the east side of the square. Santa Claus was at Sweet Grace Boutique. And many of the downtown organizations and the businesses came together. They opened their doors. I know the Sullivan Art Guild, the Crossroads Community Church, the library that has the historical museum there. There were, and here I go again. I'm going to mess up because there were more than that open, right? But some businesses were open downtown. People came downtown, and it was very cold. So this is kind of a combination of the Heart of Sullivan and then just some volunteers, basically some volunteers in those organizations that help out during the Christmas season to make sure it's a very special Christmas for all Sullivan families. So kudos to them. They did an outstanding job. And this year, for the first year ever, was the Downtown Christmas Parade. So I know Destiny Walker, she's a member of the Heart of Sullivan. Hold on.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The coffee.
What a staff.
What a staff. I mean,
our producers are the best, man.
We might not be able to run city government worth a damn, but we can make coffee and we eat. I tell you, we had the best potluck dinners in here. And we know where every special is all across the city, too. Well, on Tuesdays, I think they're having this down at. Very well.
I'll tell you, Clint, you've got a really good event when you have that kind of a crowd on that cold day.
It was so cold. And the parade was so cool that night. Everybody drove in, and it was just,
but
it was magical.
People were there. I mean, it was amazing.
As we say, it wasn't just special, it was Sullivan special.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sullivan special. It was great. So, no, it was a great December, John. So many good things were happening throughout the community. And, the Salvation Army, they were here with us last month. They had, I'm sure, another successful Red Kettle campaign. So, the holidays, always very important. So many people are doing so many good things year-round. I know over at the Catholic Church, they do their dinner on Monday nights, Presbyterian Church on Thursday nights. So, we truly do live by the city motto, taking time to care.
Right.
And, it's always special, but especially at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It was just extra special.
And there was also a special meal at the 4-H building.
4-H building on Christmas Day.
Christmas
Randy
Day.
Cooley, and there's a group
wonderful.
That's kind of a hodgepodge of just people that just step up and come together. I don't think an actual organization itself does that. I think it's just the people of the community.
Kind of like Randy Cooley and who wants to ever jump on that.
And everybody jump on board. So I can't remember how many meals. Over 400 or something, I think, was served on Christmas Day. So, another example. See, I always get myself in trouble because there's too many good things to mention. There really are going on in our community. So
and we've got an event coming up here that I know you want to get to today too, because it's coming up here in January that people can still get tickets for, and that's the Snowball dance. And it's a big event because it's it's a fundraiser, and you're going to have it at the Sullivan Civic Center coming up, and maybe you can tell us more about how we can get tickets for those who don't have tickets yet.
Yeah, well, I was going to get on the internet and double check the date of that, but
it's January 21st.
Thank you, January 21st. I knew it was the Sullivan Snowball coming up. That is Saturday, January 21st. That's right, because the 19th is on a Thursday. We have something that day.
Yes.
All right, that's how I calculate. Well, what event do I have on this day? And then I add and subtract a couple days. So, yes, that is Saturday, January 21st. Be able to check out. Be sure to check out the City of Sullivan, Indiana Facebook page, and it has its own Facebook event page called Sullivan Snowball. So the Sullivan Snowball, if you go to the Facebook event for that, you can check that out. Looks like a really nice evening. It's kind of a, I guess, cocktail attire. I know Amber Hunt was on the show with Sarah kind of talking about that. So we just want to remind folks that it is coming up on January the 21st. Yeah, a great event, and all proceeds to benefit our beloved Sullivan City
Right.
Pool. So we talked a lot about the city pool. We had a big year in 2022, bringing that back, putting together grants and financing, and people, the community stepping up. But we also understand that a municipal pool, it costs a lot of money by the time you pay lifeguards and the overhead and this and that, and charging $4 a day doesn't exactly always break even. So that's why we have to have community events. It wasn't just a fundraiser for construction. It's going to be a continuous fundraiser where we all come together to make sure our young people are employed. They're great summer jobs for people. It's great for toddlers to have water aerobics, or to seniors to have water aerobics, or all ages to have water aerobics, but toddlers to also to learn how to swim. Just all the different benefits we could talk about. So you're not only having a great time on January 21st. I always like to talk about the events, but I always feel like it's important to talk about why the event is going on. Sure, it's a great time. I believe there's going to be food, there's going to be drinks. I guess there's one heck of a band coming. It's a very popular band. They play a lot of rock music from the 80s, maybe 90s, something like that. So something Mullet. I can't remember the name of the actual name of the band, but be sure after the show, be sure to go on Facebook. Once again, Sullivan Snowball Facebook event page. You can also, they're sharing that on the City of Sullivan Facebook page. And it's my understanding, when I looked at the city Facebook page, there's an opportunity to win 2 free tickets. So if you go on there, I think if you like the post, if you make a comment on the post and share the post, then you can be entered into a contest. And I believe it's next Friday at noon. They will be drawing a winner to get 2 free tickets to the Sullivan Snowball. It's not just for individuals, businesses, corporate sponsors. You can buy a table and things like that. So yeah, that's once again the Snowball going on January 21st
At the Civic Center.
in beautiful downtown Sullivan, where it always feels good to be here.
But we are now in 2023.
Can you believe it?
So we survived 2022, which I hope it was a great year for everybody. You know, we finally had a full year. I think we could say we had a full year of
Yeah. The new normal.
Yeah, the new normal. And so now here we try to gain some momentum into 2023. I know you've got goals you have set for yourself in the city, and maybe we could touch upon them if you want to today. But I know, you know, we say this every year, the first of the year, but I think this year could be a very good year for Sullivan. I think you've got all kind, you and your city organizations have all kinds of things lined up for the city.
Yeah, and John, you know, these things take time and they take money, right? And it takes a long time to get all your dollars together and your money together and your grants together, and it just the wheels of government don't obviously move as fast as we want them to, and we've talked about that numerous times on the show. So finally now, after, you know, over a decade of just this continuous, you know, like we've always said, you might not always agree with absolutely everything the administration pushes, but at the end of the day, nobody can say that we're not doing something. We're always moving forward. We'd rather give you something to disagree with than just to sit on our hands, right? And just watch the city just unfold. So that's why there's been a very calculated and concise, continuous movement, right? And we don't always understand, right? Like, why are we doing this today? Well, we're doing this today because if you look at the comprehensive master plan that was established when we first came into office, if you remember, we talked about this. Hadn't had a comprehensive master plan since 1968. It was updated when the Sullivan County Park and Lake was put in. Our administration brought it in 2012. It was a 2-year process, the comprehensive master plan. I'm pleased to announce in the fall of 2022, our team started to update. Just a few months ago, our kind of executive team got together, started meeting, and we started updating after a decade that comprehensive master plan. We have actually just met this Wednesday at the Sullivan Civic Center, and some of the council came and the Board of Works. So one big announcement for 2023 is the updating of the comprehensive master plan. And the reason why I want to announce this, it kind of starts as an internal document, but it can't be just an internal document from our administration. It's the people's community, it's the citizens' community, and they can decide what the next decade's going to look like, right? So, well, at one of our next sessions, and it'll be announced here, we'll have open forums where people can come in and give their public input. They can come to the different meetings. They can come to the different conversations, and they can tell us, you know, what they would like to see, and they can get involved, right? This isn't taking ownership of your community. But, you know, the mayor's not going to be here forever. I mean, it's a shelf life, right? But the city of Sullivan has to continue. The council people, the Board of Works, these same people on these panels, they're not going to be here forever. but the city has to move forward. And the plan, the most successful communities are communities that have a contiguous plan, right? Regardless of administrations coming and going. And that is so important. So the organizations that we host here on our show, I know we have a guest coming on here in a little bit with the Garden Club. So there's an organization, for example. You have the Chamber, you have tourism, you have the Rotary, which has been on, the Heart of Sullivan, which has been on, the Salvation Army, you name it. Lions Club, so many organizations, businesses, citizens that can come together and create and say, look, here's where we want to go. We might not always agree on every little detail, but we know. What was it? Birch Bayh told me one time. We didn't always agree when he was in the U.S. Senate on how to get there, but we all wanted to get there, right? Take it by bus, plane, train, or walk, but we want to get there, right? It just might be a different direction. And unfortunately, we're not seeing that in Washington, D.C. right now. I'm not quite sure what the heck's going on here. We can't find leadership right now, but we got to put all that aside. The polarization, the craziness. We love Sullivan, and we got to take care of it. We got to come together and put together this comprehensive master plan. I know it's a long-winded kind of intro to what's going on in 2023, but it's the basis of everything. It's the old cliche, failing to plan is planning to fail. Right. If you don't have you can't just aimlessly wander. The mayor doesn't wake up one morning, other than Friday mornings on the radio show, and you really don't have a plan for it, other than winging it on the first Friday. But there's always a why in this mind of madness. There's always a why. So I'm really excited about that, to see the community come together and plan.
Clint, I have somebody who wanted me to ask you a question, but I'm going to make it as generic as I possibly can, because I know at this moment right now it's hard to answer this. But in general terms speaking, do you feel real confident that the Sully Steakhouse building and the newsstand building will be filled with something by maybe the end of the year?
I don't give dates in this line of work. Yes. Newsstand, you'll have to talk to the owner, right? Okay. That is not owned by the City of Sullivan. It's not operated by the City of Sullivan. We could go into Riggs Hardware. We could go into a lot of these. These are private individuals that have purchased these buildings. And I hope that the new owners, I think, when I've spoke to them briefly, I don't have a long conversation, I hope that they have plans. I think they are. I see a dumpster out front of the newsstand, I think, and I see black in the window. They've covered it up, so they're going to do something. Okay. I don't really know. You'll have to. That's capitalism.
That's a good point to say, though.
That's the capitalism. That's the private sector. That's not city government. Right. City government doesn't own rigs. City government doesn't own. Now, what you asked about Sully's, and that's fine. The north side of the square, 30 West Washington Street. Yes. So I know there's some misinformation on this. Flat out lies. Flat out people that like to just stir because they know the answer. When somebody gets on Facebook and says, "Well, what's going on with this? What's going on with that?" Come on. They know. It's just to drive. It's real simple. It's always been real simple. The City of Sullivan has never owned a restaurant. The City of Sullivan has never operated a restaurant. The City of Sullivan has never maintained a restaurant. The Sullivan City Redevelopment Commission owns a building. They own a building. And they have a tenant. The tenant happened to be Sully Steakhouse. Well, for unfortunate circumstances, it didn't work out. And if folks want to keep driving that and beating that, this isn't your person that asked, but they're just a certain faction. I guess we can bring them on here and just keep whipping them and find out and embarrass them and yell and kick them and find. I mean, I guess we can if that's what we want to do. But the reality is very simple. It didn't work out, okay? You'll have to ask them. All the City Redevelopment Commission knows is they own a building. And why does a city own a building? Because if you think back a few years ago, there wasn't anything going on. And I didn't see anybody bringing their checkbook up there and buying that, right? But we knew it was an integral part of downtown. We had boarded up windows. We had broken windows upstairs. Feral cats were living upstairs. And a developer purchased the building. Then the developer spread themselves too thin, which is what happens in the private sector, right? Businesses, startups, some succeed and some don't. That's America, right? I'm glad that there's still attempts, other than vacant buildings sitting, right? So at that time, the City Redevelopment Commission said, man, this is too prime of a property. Because if you look back at the 2013 Comprehensive Master Plan, the folks of the community at that time said, we want a driver in downtown something to bring traffic 7 days a week. So that was the why behind the building. Let's get the building, let's get it finished out so it doesn't sit board up. It's on the gateway coming into the downtown of the square. It was Murphy's hardware store. It was an old Kroger grocery store. A lot of historic. Joe Booth photography studios were upstairs. There was doctors upstairs. There was lawyers upstairs. So the City Redevelopment Commission acquired that building. Period. Finished it out. Put in the fire pit. Right. Now, there was a liquor license. We want to go full disclosure here since we're going here today.
Sure.
The City of Sullivan's Redevelopment Commission, not the City of Sullivan, not the mayor, not the mayor's wife, doesn't own a liquor license.
Oh my God.
The mayor's dad didn't own the building.
Really? This is what's out there? Oh my gosh. Okay. This is insane.
Yeah. Jamie Lamb doesn't own liquor licenses. Okay, full disclosure. The mayor has no vested interest in this building other than we care about the downtown and we want to have something going, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the Redevelopment Commission acquired the liquor license to make sure it didn't get tied up
Okay.
and litigate. That way, the next
right.
person can come in.
Right.
So they own two things: a liquor license, and they own the building. Period. Will it be full by the? It could be full this afternoon if you and I want to go over there and have a sandwich. You know what? No.
Right.
We hope so. The Redevelopment Commission put out a request for proposals asking for interest. Had 14 packets picked up.
Okay.
Only one person turned in an actual bid.
Okay.
So now the City Redevelopment Commission is meeting with that individual. They're seeking corporate approval, and we don't know.
Okay.
If that doesn't work out, it'll go up again for bid, right?
Okay.
At the end of the day, there's an effort being pushed forward to bring that building back to life. So now, I didn't mean to go off on any tangents, but it's the truth. Like, after so many years, like most of the time you just really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I do know that the public wants to know.
Yeah.
So that was the most transparent, simplest answer of the why and what is happening.
And
Now,
we-
the other buildings I don't know. That's privately owned, but
That's
the city
right.
RDC does.
And that's
own
the
it.
same way with the Acorn Grill where it was. I mean, that's privately owned building as well, so that's up to them.
That
who they want to
individual
bring in.
decided whether to be in business
Right,
or not,
right.
right? Backstreet Pizza decides whether to be in business or not. Jay's Auto World decides whether to be in. The Cata Corner. I mean, La Pachanga, Hawkins Law. I mean, I just don't. Baszler's Grocery Store, Save a Lot. I mean, it's the private sector. I mean,
Yeah.
they.
The
And
notion that-
there's sometimes there's circumstances. There's no boogeyman, right?
Yeah.
It's not, well, Sullivan's dying, or there's a conspiracy, or the economy's going bad. You'll have to ask each individual, because for every business that is not in operation, how many ribbons have we cut?
Oh my.
So per capita, it's 5-1.
Right.
Right? So the irritation sometimes is, my God, if I'm a new business and I'm cutting a ribbon, and the death squad comes out here and just starts boo-hooing all over the community, like, what a slap in the face to the hardworking people that actually took the time, the effort,
The money.
put their time, their money, their blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, basically what they're saying is, WNDI, you don't mean anything.
Right.
Right? John, you came here from outside.
Right.
You're never an outsider.
Yes.
You're an insider, now, right?
Yes.
But you had to come over that probably at first,
sure, yeah,
that mentality
absolutely.
at first.
Right.
But are they saying you're not? Yeah, John, but that was in the '90s, so yeah, you're not worth it anymore. To me, I get upset for folks like you
Yeah.
when people do that, because they think they're attacking a mayor or they think they're attacking an administration, but they're attacking a whole city.
Yeah.
And when you bring down a city like that, you're telling the businesses that are sitting here fighting, that are sitting here thriving and striving, that you don't mean anything. Well, I think you do. Our administration will always stand, and we will always do whatever we can, and sometimes it'll be unprecedented. I know administrations before didn't buy buildings on the square, right?
Right.
But you know what? At the end of the day, if you don't, who will? At that time. But now, Riggs, Newsstand, for example, we just use those for example, they were purchased, right?
Right.
10 short years ago, there
Right.
wasn't a whole lot of
Activity.
transitions going on. So,
Yeah. That's good. That
Well,
was
thanks,
well
John.
explained. That was well explained. So.
because it's a more complex answer than just
Yeah.
than a tweet. Like I said, you can't
Yeah.
govern on a tweet. You can't
Yeah.
govern on Facebook.
Right.
These actually have, and matter of fact, we could sit here for hours to go over the timeline exactly why and all the
Right.
steps that we're taking.
Yeah.
But that's the shortest summary.
So let's really understand this.
But let's.
The
I don't think I
mayor-
made it clear.
No, the mayor does not decide who goes in these buildings. Let's be honest.
It's
about
open
that.
for bid.
Yes, it's
Well,
private
the
enterprise.
redevelopment commission.
Right.
The redevelopment commission does decide who will come in there. But
it's
the
not
other
the-
ones, the mayor doesn't.
No, the mayor has nothing to do with it. So okay, let's move on. We can knock that horse till it's dead.
Well, and I think some people are just inquiring, to being honest. They're
Right,
just
they
curious. So in all the
People really want something
yeah,
new because
exactly.
they enjoyed it. I mean,
so and that's okay.
yeah. I mean, it's meant in good intentions from
Some.
my person.
Yeah. So-
But okay. Well,
You got any Baileys in this coffee? Kahlua? It's going to be a hell of a 2023. We're starting off with a bang.
this is we always talk about this time of year about continuing with Path to Progress and continuing with new homes coming, hopefully the Sullivan,
Yes.
that type of thing. And I think there's a real promising note on that. I think we will see new homes in Sullivan.
I know we will, because here's why. Because the Sullivan City Redevelopment Commission met in November, and the Sullivan City Redevelopment Commission met again in December. Here's other properties that the Sullivan City Redevelopment Commission owns. Multiple addresses throughout the city that we have torn down over the years.
Mm-hmm.
We've either acquired those in tax sale, they've been contributed to the city, whatever the case may be. Those buildings are in possession of the Sullivan. Those not buildings, those properties are in possession of the Sullivan City Redevelopment Commission. I know for a fact that there were people approved. Well, Nora Leone is one of them. 509 South Main, 426 West Johnson, and you see new home construction going up at just those two places. There's your first example. I also know in November there were more properties that were awarded. 434 South Main, Jerry Ashby, Jeff McNeely, they've come together. They're building a home, right? They're going to be building some more homes. I hope it's okay that I disclosed and told folks' names here, but I think it's great. Thank you so much.
Right.
They didn't get on Facebook and talk about it. They acquired the lots, and they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're building.
Right.
They are rebuilding physically this community, right? Is that not awesome that folks are stepping up saying, Sullivan is worth investing in? And you know what? Sullivan, it feels good to be here. They're taking time to care. There's our cliches. Welcome home,
Yes.
right? They are Sullivan. I am Sullivan. You are Sullivan. They are Sullivan, right? And we're making Sullivan home. Welcome home here in the community, right?
Yeah.
I also know since then that the Redevelopment Commission has approved more properties that are going to be going up
Wonderful.
that people have put in a bid for, and they're going to get awarded. And you're going to see millions of dollars. Millions. It's going to be great. Millions of dollars, literally, in new home construction. So that's great economically, right? It's great to see these places come up. Those are more utility customers. Those they're on the tax rolls, because when the City Redevelopment Commission owns them, taxes aren't being paid on those. To get those into the private sector
Right.
is great. But most importantly, what does every home do? It delivers people. It delivers people that will patronize the local businesses that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
If they have a student, a kid, the student goes to the elementary or high school or junior high, and per funding formula of the state of Indiana, that's $7,000 per year per child that will go to the school corporation.
Right.
That's more customers that'll be filling our stores. That is more potential coaches that'll be coaching Little League someday. That's where the future mayors will be inspired and groomed in their homes that they can run someday. It's human capital, right? It's more members for civic organizations. It's people. It's increasing our population, because that's the number one thing when any type of a business looks at a community. Are there people there? Watch the traffic flow. We're running into that right now with they do these internal studies, these corporations they have to look at demographics. Family Dollar and Dollar Tree, right? The mayor didn't decide what was going to be built there. The mayor didn't ask them to come to Sullivan. They obviously looked at some demographics and said, you know what, here's a community that's growing. It's actually worth investing there. So they purchased a property on South Section Street.
But they're elsewhere too. This company has definitely decided
Starting
to
to expand,
out
and they have
all over
picked,
the
right?
area,
And they've chose this community.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but had our population been declining and there was nobody here to sell product to, would they be here?
Yeah, no.
So my point is, there's a good sign that, obviously things are moving in the right direction. Because if they're not moving in the right direction, who's
They're
going to
not
build a
investing.
home?
Yes.
Who's going to build a new business? So right there, the mayor can stand in here and rant and rave for hours, drive around. Are there still issues? Yes. Are there still properties that need to be cleaned up? Absolutely. Do properties need to be demolished? Absolutely. But it's not like you're ever finished, right? It's not like at the end of the year, well, 2022, we cleaned up the whole city and we got businesses going. Now we're just going to kick back, give me another cup of coffee here. I mean, you're never done, right? It's a continuous work in progress. And that's why the comprehensive master plan is so important, to get everybody to the table where everybody's doing this and telling the Sullivan story. Because it's not just special. I keep saying it.
It's Sullivan
It's
special.
Sullivan special.
Yeah, I like that slogan, actually. Well, we have a wonderful guest here, Clint, that we probably...
Let's get to the guest.
Yes.
Then we'll get back to the other things going on, and then
Yes.
we'll highlight a couple of events coming up.
She's been very patient.
She's been very patient. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm just here to talk about garden stuff. I don't really care about all this other stuff. So, Mrs. Cox, please join us. Come on up. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to the show. To kind of give an intro here, everybody knows here on the first Friday chat with the mayor every month, we try to have several guests that come on and they talk about anything from different events going on to their organization. So today is no different, John.
Yes.
We have from your official name is the Sullivan County Garden Club.
Yes.
The Sullivan County Garden Club, and so you're getting ready to have a special event that we like to promote here on the show today. I won't yell at you, and I won't even hit you with any of my hands, okay?
right.
It's all right. She's like, what are these guys going to do?
That's saying my part.
Exactly. So, but yeah, before you talk about your event, you've been a very active member of the Garden Club. As a matter of fact, John, I know she personally and several of her friends have been very active in the beautification of the flower flood every year.
Awesome.
Pretty much since its inception in the downtown area.
Okay.
So there's where city government kind of takes that lead to do it, but the organizations step up and work side by side with us,
Yeah.
where the whole community comes together to do things like that. So I know that you've been personally involved in that. I know your organization, outside of you helping with the flower flood, man, the Garden Club has been in existence for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah, so
yes.
tell us a little bit about what the Garden Club, kind of a little history on it, what all you guys do, how often do you meet,
Well,
things like that.
We meet once a month
Okay.
for a couple hours, and we have different speakers come in at times and talk about different garden projects
Mm-hmm.
and things. We also go to different places, like we make a trip to Amish country and buy plants and things for our members to have.
Yeah,
We used to have plant sales where we'd take some of the starts of our plants
Okay.
and we would sell them to the public, and we were on the square at the farmers market
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yep.
We have a lot of state projects going on. We have we're a county, but then we have a district that we
okay.
participate
So this
in.
organization, it's not just a local, you have it's kind of a hierarchy with the district, and there's other garden clubs around.
All the way to national. There's
Okay,
a national.
wow.
We're part of the National
Okay.
Garden Club. So,
Cool.
And they have projects. We plant every year. We plant a tree at one of the Sullivan County schools.
Okay, cool.
So it might be the elementary school at Sullivan or Carlisle or the high school, whatever.
Sure.
We plant those. We try to do what we can. We have a lot of elderly members, so that makes it. We do sponsor state scholarships for the different universities if it's agriculture or horticulture-based
Yeah.
schools. We also do at Carlisle Elementary. It's called forcing garden
Okay.
Okay.
bulbs. So you want them to bloom in the classroom. The kids got to take care
Yeah.
of them, and they bloom.
So I think that's a very good point you made there, and I think it's very important. A lot of these organizations that we talk to, the members have been in for a long time. It's a lot of the same faces. So, the future of these organizations, it can be challenging to get new faces, especially with social media and all the things. People just don't seem to have the interest in our organizations maybe they did at one time. So the fact that you're in the elementary schools, no pun intended, you are planting a seed, right? The Garden Club is planting a seed for this involvement. So no, I think that's a very important point to bring up, and I appreciate you guys doing that in the
Well,
schools.
thank you.
Well, you got a wonderful event coming up, so let's hear all about it.
Well, this is our first time having an event like this. It's a day event, and it's January the 28th at the Sullivan County 4-H Fairgrounds.
Okay.
We have 3 speakers that come in from local. So I'll talk about them in a minute, but I wanted to let you know it's it's $25
Okay.
for all day. We have a what we call a snack breakfast, so it's kind of finger foods, and then the Garden Club members are making a lunch.
Okay.
And the desserts will be family or group members will be bringing
Sure.
their desserts. So there should be some very,
Yeah, good treats.
very
Talking about
nice.
homemade stuff here.
So there goes your New Year's
Yeah.
resolution. It's over.
So anyway, and the other thing is I want to let you know all the brochures and registration forms are at all the local libraries all through the county.
Okay.
So you can get them there.
Nice.
And then it's 3 big speakers. I'm really enthused the speakers are local.
Oh,
And so
cool.
the name of it was Garden Fest, and the program is called Bees, Teas, and Pollinators, Please.
That's
Kind of
pretty
a
cool.
tongue twister.
Yeah. Bees, teas, and pollinators, please.
Yeah.
Love it.
I said trees earlier because I was like, but you understand with the speakers, we made this, that was our title, and then we got the speakers, so it kind of all worked out
Yeah.
together.
That's
for
cool, the
this.
theme.
Yes, I
Very
wanted to get
good.
a couple things here. Wndi Sperlin
Okay.
is coming and talking about herbal teas. She makes herbal teas at her
Those are
farm.
getting a lot more popular too over
A lot of
time.
medicinal purposes in those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she will be talking about her herbal teas. She'll have samples, and then she will be selling her teas.
Okay.
So I'm going to backtrack a minute because we're going to have vendors at this that have to do with horticulture and the flowers.
So you're going to have breakfast, you're going to have lunch,
and the
you're going to
vendors.
have speakers, and now vendors also at this event.
And we'll have door. I just put in. We'll have door prizes
Door
and
prizes.
silent auction. So for $25, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
That's very good.
exactly. No, that's very reasonable to be fed twice and have vendors
Yeah.
and different
And
speakers.
from 9:30 to 3:30, it's short. It's compact. Everything's it's not drawn out.
Sure.
Okay. The second speaker we have is a Tracy Hunter from
Okay.
Hunter's Honey Farm over by Martinsville.
Okay.
And if you've never heard of this is 4 generations of his family. They have honeybees, and they have, you can go on a tour. They do all their own honey, but it's all natural. There's no preservatives and things in it. The nice thing about he does is a lot of the local farmers, especially the melon and
Yeah.
those type of things, they use his bees to pollinate their plants so they can have melons and different types of
Nice.
vegetables. And he does it over 5 states, so he's a pretty big
Yeah.
facility for it.
Yeah.
But he has an awesome, if you ever get there, that he has an awesome tour through his facility, little tidbits of different
Sure.
things.
Sure.
I didn't know that you rented bees to pollinate your
Bringing
melon
bees
plants
in,
and
yeah.
stuff. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
guess I
news.
didn't think much about that.
Yeah.
but
Big
that's
news.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people are scared of bees. They don't want to
Yeah.
get stung, but
Right.
people don't realize the value that the bees bring.
Oh, if we
Wh-
don't
whether
have
it's
bees,
honey, whether it's the
yeah.
pollination, things like that. It's
Without bees, there's no pollination.
Right.
There's a lot of products that we take for granted are not going to be here anymore.
the great scientists. It all comes together, doesn't it? Right.
And a few years back, the bees, had a problem. They had a bacteria that came in and killed a lot of
Really?
beehives. Yeah.
I see.
And we have local people that have beehives here in the county too.
Okay.
I was gonna say I've seen a few of those
Yeah.
here, like
Yeah.
that towards Graysville and things.
So
No.
you're hoping to have this an every year deal then, huh?
Well, if it works
If
out,
it's
yes.
successful, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
that's
looking
great.
for like 50 to 75 participants, so keep it
Okay.
small so we can get our feet wet a little bit. I wanted to let you know the last speaker is Will Drews
Okay.
from Knox County, so he's close.
Okay.
He's going to talk about native pollinators. He's a natural resource specialist in there.
Okay.
They're eradicating invasive species, but he also is trying to get people to plant native plants.
Okay.
Okay, and that gets to be a real issue because you can still buy some of these invasive species.
Yes, I know.
We're trying
We've
to.
been in trouble a little bit at the cities a few times. We've overcome that line. So yeah.
And so he will be educating people on what you can get for native pollinators
Right.
to plant in the county and different sources. But he's a very very innovative person and very knowledgeable and a very good speaker.
So you're saying a representative from the city should probably attend this conference that day and listen to him?
It might be a good thing.
A representative, maybe not the mayor per se, but a representative to come listen and.
You'll have good food and
There you go.
Yeah.
meet some other people from
Well,
the county.
it is so important. I mean, and you guys do so much with I know you guys select different homes that like that you give them awards.
The Garden of the Month.
The
yes.
Garden of the Month awards and things like that, and it's just so important that I really do. I think whether it's an invasive species or whatever, if the city's properly planted, but I will say it brings the spirits of people up.
Oh yeah.
It really does when people see that. It shows life, it shows activity, and that's what you don't think about those things all the time. What trees do. There's whole studies of trees and flowers, what it does for a downtown, the vibrancy, the life, what it does for stormwater to help capture a lot of that water to get down into the sewers and things
And
like
it
that.
creates
so.
great conversation about the downtown. Because you hear people talk all the time how beautiful our downtown is and flowers really captivate
Sure.
that, and then the holidays, how beautiful the lights were, but the trees and the flowers that you guys have helped put on, man, it just, I mean, the downtown just sparkles.
The
It's
natural, the beauty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
awesome.
a buzz point. It's a buzz.
awesome. That's right.
Creates a buzz, no pun intended.
Oh, that's good.
Or pun
It's
intended.
also it's nice for people to see how the hard work to plant the flowers and things around the square and keep them weeded and watered. That's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And as gardeners, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys come in and you don't want to just plant them and then watch them growing up and this and that, but all year long, the Department of Public Works, J.D. Wilson, our director there, and the rest of the team, they do an outstanding job of keeping all
Absolutely,
that going.
they
So,
do. Well, this
Yeah.
is great. So let's remind one more time when this is.
It's January the 28th at the Sullivan County 4-H Fairgrounds from 9:30 to 3:30. All the registration forms are at every local library
Go to
in
the
the
local
Sullivan
library.
Okay.
County.
Okay.
So, and if there's any questions, I'm going to give you this.
Flyer today.
I'll give you a flyer, and then
Okay.
we also have a contact with Edie Dyer Wilson,
Okay.
and it's capital WOW dot. I'm sorry, no dot.
Yeah.
I'll let you
Yeah.
read it. How's
Capital.
that?
It's Wow Edie. So it's capital WOW capital EDIE at AOL.com. So if you have any questions
She's
about
the-
the event, yeah, give her a call.
She's the
Yeah.
person to call.
Okay.
She's the go-to on
Yeah.
this one. All right.
And we'd
Very nice.
appreciate everybody that can attend. I think it's going to be a very fun day and very informative day.
That
Yeah.
sounds like it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We will definitely promote this. Is there anywhere online other than here? Do you have a Facebook page or any social media, the Garden Club?
The Garden Club has a Facebook page, and
Okay.
it's Sullivan County,
County
Garden Club.
Okay, so be sure that people can check you out there as well. So, well,
Awesome.
thank you for coming on the show
Thank you
today.
for
We
having
appreciate
me.
you. Yes, thank you very much.
Pleasure. You're an outstanding guest. Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Yeah.
morning.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Keeping Sullivan growing. Literally, right?
That's right.
I'll switch out
gotta
chairs
switch
with you
out.
here. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
guys.
much. Appreciate it.
I'm going to take mine back.
The Garden Club continues to create a buzz in Sullivan County.
Create a buzz. I tell you though, like we talked about the Garden Club, I mean years and years. If you read In Times Past, right? I always talk about In Times Past on Wednesday's edition.
Yeah.
They'll have old articles from literally the 30s, 40s, 50s, and the Garden Club is mentioned there so many times. So it's a long-standing organization here in Sullivan County. Once again, the Sullivan County Garden Club presents Bees, Teas, and Pollinators Please, and that is going on January 28th. Doors open at 9 a.m. It's going to go from 9:30 to 3:30. It does include a breakfast, includes a lunch, interesting speakers, snacks, vendors, door prizes, and a silent auction. And that's going on at Sullivan County 4-H Fairgrounds, located just east of the city here. And we will try to have some of this information posted on the City of Sullivan's Facebook page to pass along to you. If you are an interested vendor, you can contact Becky at Rebco61, REBCO61 at Gmail. And once again, you can contact Edie if you have any questions about the event at WOWEDIE at AOL.com. So once again, that is Saturday, January 28th. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Well,
Appreciate
now,
you.
The sweet part of the show was done. Let's get back to all
Yeah, the piss and vinegar. Yeah, I don't want to listen to this. She's out. Anyway, back at it.
Back to cussing and discussing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what else is on the agenda today, Clint, that you want to get off your chest? Or
Yeah.
talk about?
Well, speaking of fighting, we do have Griggs Entertainment coming back to
Good,
Sullivan.
good.
GE Fights, they're going to be
Good.
coming back here at the end of the month. Be able to check out their Facebook page. We're going to be sharing that also. Once again, whether you're an MMA fan or not, Josh and Mona Griggs, shout out to you this morning. Hopefully they're checking in and watching today. My gosh, they're steady here in the community. They host a lot of events at our historic downtown gymnasium owned by Dr. Lim. But my gosh, it's so great. I wasn't always a big MMA fan, but you know what? I went to one of the events 6, 7, 8 years ago. I've known them now for several years, and just the venue and just the surroundings. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot
They draw a
exciting.
lot of people.
They draw a lot of people,
Yeah.
and if you drive around the downtown area, it's hard to find a place to
Sure,
park on that
right.
Saturday night.
But there's a lot of people from outside of Indiana come into this.
Look at those license
Yeah.
plates. Yeah, John, they're everywhere. So once again, it's just a way to bring folks into the community. So if you are planning to attend the GE Fights and you're coming in from outside of Sullivan or Sullivan County, We always talk about all of our amazing restaurants. Be sure to fill your gas tank while you're here. Be sure to go out to eat, have a drink, whatever the case may be. Be careful coming and going. But yeah, we're looking forward to having them back. That is GE Fights. And I did have the flyer right in front of me. I apologize.
Okay.
If you think somebody could check a date on that of when they're going to be coming, that's GE Fights coming the end of January. But we will share that contact information or that event information. I believe it's the 28th, but I don't want to say that. I think it's Saturday the 28th.
Okay.
If not, it's Saturday the 21st, one or the other. And I apologize to GE for having that. It's been kind of a rough morning
Yes,
here, but
yes.
be sure to check them out. It's a really, really good time at our downtown gym. Also, a reminder that the Heart of Sullivan is putting on their annual event in February, the Dueling Pianos. I'm not sure if we have a date set yet,
Okay.
100% for the Dueling Pianos, but I do know that it's around Valentine's Day. So it's probably either going to be like the 10th or the 17th, probably
Okay.
around that time. Dueling Pianos will be returning to the Sullivan Civic Center. And I do know that, again, it's a 2-night event.
Oh.
You know, for years it
Good.
was just one night, but they would sell out, right? And people were upset because they couldn't get a table, they couldn't get a ticket. So now, last year they did it 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night. So that be looking forward to that. Check out the Heart of Sullivan Facebook page. We'll also share that information on the City of Sullivan Facebook page. So, my gosh.
Yes.
Exciting year starting out.
Yes.
Check out the Sullivan Civic Center Facebook page because there are so many wonderful events going on at the Sullivan Civic Center. Some that are private from rentals, some that are open to the public. So the Sullivan Snowball going on January 19th.
Or 21st.
20,
There's something on the 19th you said, but that was something else.
that's a lunch I have to go
Yes.
to.
Yes.
Sullivan Snowball, January 21st.
Yes.
The Bees, Teas, Pollination, Please on the 28th.
Yes.
GE Fights is one of those nights as well. I think it's the 28th.
Okay. All right.
Remember, see Facebook for details. Dueling Pianos coming up in the month of February.
That's always a big event.
Snowball Social. So those are a lot of the events coming up. So yeah. So kind of wrapping up the show here, John, towards the end. Yeah, 2023, you know, you mentioned, we talked a little bit about the housing, but to me, this is going to be the year of the housing. You're going to see a record year of new home construction that you haven't seen in decades. I mean, we already know. I mean, we know at least 14 homes
Wow.
that are going to be built
Awesome.
just out of the discussion we had earlier today.
That's
So,
awesome.
and that's not to say like the homes that are just starting to pop up on their own all around the city. So it's an exciting time. It's a time of recycling itself. A lot of these homes were built in our community during the Industrial Revolution. A lot of the guys and gals coming home from the war, you know, anywhere from the 20s to the 40s and things like that, even into the 50s. So that housing stock here in the year 2023, it's starting to show its age. And I know you live in an older home, I live in an older home, and we know that, you know, some of these homes we're fortunate enough to be able to maintain and upkeep, but there's some that just can't be, right? So you're starting to see that. There's nothing better we can do than create, you know, whether it's through trails. Now that we're here in 2023, this is the official year for a bid letting for the East Washington Street corridor. To have we've been talking about that for years, the trail that extends the Sully Greenway from the downtown square out to the Sullivan County Park and Lake. So September, there will be a bid letting on that. So bids will go out. We hope they come in. And then hopefully you'll see construction starting here this coming winter. 23-24 winter. So yeah, long time coming, long time in the works. That actual concept came out of the 1980 Ball State plan that we actually have hanging up here on the walls. So, you know, once again, a lot of these things aren't just new. They didn't just fall out of the sky. These are things that have been in the works for a long time, or they're concepts or their visions from a long time ago that were just never implemented. So, you know, John, sometimes I kind of go off on a tangent, but I think it's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, I will continue to fight, right? For every day that I serve the citizens of the city of Sullivan until that final day has come and gone. And even after that, I will always be a champion. I will always be an advocate for the city of Sullivan because too many people truly take time to care. So we pour our, you know, as we talk about the businesses, we pour our blood, sweat, and tears into what we do. Obviously, if you can't tell, we're very passionate about what we do here in the city, and we do take it personal, right? Because, you know, a mayor, I guess if they're doing a good job, you know, a mayor talking about their city is like a grandparent talking about their grandkids, or a parent talking about their kids. They're proud, and they should be proud, right? So we have so many great mayors across the state of Indiana, all across the country. There's 19,000 cities, and local government, nobody gets it done like local government does. You know, You see a few battles here and there, but you just don't see the gridlock and the turmoil. We actually have to get things done, right?
Right.
We have to pick up
Right.
the trash. We can't get in a fight and shut down city government and not pick up your trash this week or not send the police out if need be. So,
Yeah.
we're the ones that get it done for the people, but government aside, it's really about community development. Building a community. We've been talking about it on the show for years. It's like a broken record, but that continuation is going to happen into 2023. I know I say it every year. You could probably scroll back on Facebook and archive the January shows from the past years. And it's going to be hard to top. We had a great 2022, but I firmly believe with the housing development and some other private investment, some substantial private investment, you are literally, folks, going to see millions of dollars invested here in the year 2023. Take it to the bank. You heard it here first. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thanks for tuning into the show. Thanks for getting informed, right? So, when you're out and about and you're public and you're in the coffee shops or you're out at the beauty shop or you're talking to a friend or neighbor, you can say, when they say, well, how did you hear that? Well, the mayor told me directly, personally. And just like if you have questions, they can always contact these folks at these organizations. You can always contact the mayor's office at 812-268-5464. You can post it there. When we ask for input, we ask for comments and feedback and things like that right here on the show. And then you can also email at clint.lamb@cityofsullivan.in.gov at any time.
Yes. I want to do one more quick thing here
Sure.
because we talk about people working hard. And I didn't get the name in as much as I want to, but Gina Mills, Country Financial Service, Brian Gina Mills has agreed to be with us for the year. for
Awesome.
2023.
Thank you so much.
And talk about people that work hard and care about our community.
And as a matter of fact, I
So-
forgot, Gina. I apologize for waiting here to the end of the show, but congratulations. It's been 5 years.
Yes.
It's their 5-year anniversary. I saw on Facebook the other day, it popped up. We were cutting a ribbon over there 5 years ago. So we really appreciate their investment in downtown Sullivan, located right here on North Court Street,
Yes.
just north of the Sullivan Square, located in a beautiful downtown Sullivan. Gina Mills, Country Financial, and if Gina's not available, Brian would be more than happy
Absolutely. Yes.
to help out there. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate them going to be with us for another year.
So they're wonderful
And,
people.
yeah,
we appreciate
absolutely.
that. All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Been a great show.
Been a great show, but 2022 is a great year. But you know what? It's behind us now.
Yeah, time to move forward.
Look forward though here in the coming weeks to see a 2022 video recap on the City of Sullivan Facebook page. So just it'll recap the year. We had so much that one video was going to be like 15 or 20 minutes. So this will be, if you've been following the City of Sullivan social media, every quarter we try to do a quarterly update of the
Right.
things that happen. But you will see a 2022 year in review now that the year is officially over.
Okay.
Be looking forward to watching that in the coming weeks. But stay tuned, because I'm telling you that 2023 is going to be the most revitalization, transformational year in the city's history. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you are too. God bless you. Thank you so much for continuing to believe that Sullivan's brighter days are ahead. Have a great 2023, and we'll see you next month. Thank you,
That's our
John.
monthly chat with the mayor here on WDI, again with our mayor, Clint Lamb, brought to you by Gina Mills Country Financial, right here in Sullivan. Stay tuned for Party Line coming up next.